Ababu Namwamba in the studio. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So is he the Fresh Prince of Busia? Or are you the Fresh Prince of Busia? Which one?
No, I'm the first hustler of Busia. So I don't like claim the Prince title.
Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
As we were talking off mic just slightly earlier about the Talanta Hela initiative and how important it is, and also how ambitious it is. So before we deep dive into that, let's for anyone who's listening for the first time, what are these guys talking about? We're talking about Talanta Hela, which is an initiative from the CS's ministry, aimed to create academies and create also opportunities for our sportsmen, sportswomen, and creatives. Tell us a bit more about it.
Talanta Hela is a big one. The Ministry of Youth Affairs, the Arts and Sports. But Talanta Hela is now also a flagship program of government.
Right.
So government has identified some priority initiatives, priority programs to define these administration's first 5 years.
Okay.
And Talanta Hela is one of them.
Right.
Yes. And Talanta Hela means just those two Swahili words. Talanta Hela are actually Swahili words.
Yeah.
Talanta meaning talent. Hela meaning money.
Yeah.
And that's the long and short of Talanta Hela.
Let's get some money for our
Talanta
talent.
Hela is about deliberately, intentionally transforming talents into livelihoods. So that whether you're talented in sports and in the whole spectrum of sports, football, athletics, golf, rugby, or in the creatives, music, film, theater, fashion, pageantry, fine art, literal art, whether you are talented in any of those areas.
Right.
Talanta Hela is about providing you with a platform where your talent can actually be turned into sustainable income.
And the keyword being sustainable.
Livelihood. Yes, sustainable livelihood. And you may ask why Talanta Hela? And the reason for going this way is that for far too long, this country has not done justice to especially young people who are talented in various aspects. And so you have a lot of young people who play football, for instance. When they retire, they live in miserable conditions.
Rugby as well.
I mean, every sport. Soon after I was appointed to office, I went to Kericho,
Right.
to attend the funeral of a great Kenyan who died at the ripe age of 84, Wilson Kiprugut Arap Chumo.
Right.
Many Kenyans may not, that name may not resonate to the minds of many Kenyans. But Wilson Kiprugut Chumo is the first Kenyan to win Kenya's first ever medal at the Olympics.
Right.
Tokyo, 1964.
Wow.
He wins Kenya's first ever medal. But that gentleman was buried in conditions which are really not worth a hero of his stature.
Right.
And you could say the same of so many other
It happens
Kenyans.
all the time.
All the time.
Right.
Even in the creative industry, many Kenyans of a certain age set would know people like Ojwang, who really defined comedy and entertainment on TV through the Vitimbi show. Now, this is a man who, in any other jurisdiction, in any other country,
would be fabulously wealthy.
Lived and died in plenty.
Right.
But the conditions in which this gentleman lived and died is really, really miserable.
Right.
And so Talanta Hela is saying that to have something you've never had, you got to do something you've never done.
Okay.
To have something you've never had, you got to do something you've never done. And in Kenya, we've never really cracked that puzzle of taking good care of our immensely talented people. And so Talanta Hela is offering that opportunity for you to exploit your talent, but in a manner that gives you a sustainable livelihood. That's the long and short of Talanta Hela.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting. And the main thing I just also wanted to ask is, how will now the Talanta Hela program specifically benefit the local youth? Because we have so many talented youth out here, me being one of them. And how will it contribute now to...
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
Put yourself in there, of course.
He's quite talented, you know.
That's why you're sitting here.
So how will it contribute to now our development?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, let me explain a little bit how this is all going to work. The beginning point is to provide, first of all, let's make it clear that the question in Kenya is not whether or not we have talents.
Yeah.
That's a moot question.
Definitely.
The talents are all over. I mean, go to the school's drama and film festival, go to the school music festival, go to the school ball game festivals, and the talents are just, I mean, mind-boggling. The issue has been, do we have a pipeline? Do we have a conveyor belt that can sort of funnel these talents to the right place?
Okay.
So the beginning point for Talanta Hela is offering that pipeline, that conveyor belt to process and progress these talents. So you have these incredibly talented 14-year-old at Kakamega Boys or at Cheptil High School. How does this talent progress deliberately, intentionally, and end up at a point where it can be monetized and marketed and turned into Hela? How does this talanta become Hela?
Right. Because I was going to ask, because sometimes we see these initiatives and they're so skewed towards Nairobi. How are we going to make sure that the entire country benefits from this?
And so let me explain how then you provide a platform for these talents to be progressed. We have adopted a master plan on establishing academies and centers of excellence. These academies are being established at 3 levels. Level 1 is the school and college ecosystem. And so schools are going to be given the opportunity to develop specific talents. There are some schools which have a history of doing very well in football, in rugby, in athletics, like St. Patrick's E10 does very well in athletics historically. You have schools that have already established infrastructure for golf, like Lenana School, that has a 9-hole golf course.
We spoke about that.
Come to golf. I know you guys are itching to eat me over golf. Okay.
We spoke about that during the week.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do is that we're granting every school academy status to develop particular sports.
Right.
And so if we pick St. Patrick's E10, for instance, and give it the opportunity to be our academy for athletics, we will do certain things in that ecosystem. We will raise the level of infrastructure. So we are going to invest heavily in elevating the infrastructure in these schools. We're going to provide scholarships so that, like the American college system, where you can actually go to college on a sports scholarship. We are introducing that right from school, from the school level. So you can go to St. Patrick. 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 So you can go to long distance runner. You will go. We'll give you a scholarship. We are working out an arrangement with the Ministry of Education where even the admission, there'll be a quarter, say 5% of all admissions will be reserved for these particular talents. So we intend to do this across the schooling and college ecosystem as level 1 of providing a platform to develop those talents in the school system. Level 2 is the community. We are also creating academies within the community because there are talents outside the school ecosystem. So we have identified certain community grounds that are going also to be elevated to academy status. And the level 3 are all public stadia. Anywhere where the Kenya Sports Kenya has a stadium, Kirigiti in Kiambu, Kerubia in Tharaka Nithi, okay? Talk about Buhungu in Kakamega. Talk about Kinoru in Meru. All those stadia are going to be turned into academies. This whole ecosystem of academies will provide a platform to identify talents at that very basic level, the grassroots level, and deliberately progress these talents. The same will be happening in film. The same will be happening in theater. The same will be happening in music.
Right.
And where is the conveyor belt headed? As you pick them up from the grassroots, where are you conveying them?
Right.
We are conveying them to the already established government institutions. For sports, we have the Kenya Academy of Sports, headquartered at Kasarani. That is going to be the pivot for all these talents coming through from the grassroots, so that your final destination, dependent on how good you are,
Yeah.
is the Kenya Academy of Sports at Kasarani.
Okay.
For actors, film, and all that, your final destination is the Kenya Film School.
Right.
For theatre aspirants, your final destination is the Kenya National Theatre under the Kenya Cultural Center.
Right.
Okay. And so we have figured out the pipeline and the final destination. At the final destination, we have established an ecosystem of scouts and coaches to continuously process, to continuously assess, to continuously test and pick the best of
Right.
the best. For instance, let me just finish this. In August this year, the Kenya Academy of Sports will be hosting Kenya's first ever National Talent Camp. It's going to be a 14-day opportunity for about 2,000 young people conveyed from all corners of Kenya,
Yeah.
who will come to Kasarani for 2 weeks. It is going to be a training camp. It's going to be a scouting camp. We are arranging with some of the best clubs in the world,
Yeah.
Kenyan Premier League clubs, some of the best academies all over the place who will be part of this 2-week program.
Yeah.
And you can pick your raw talent from there, and then working together with the academy, see how that progresses.
Yeah.
There's a digital angle to it, because it's not all physical. These are very digital government.
I'm meeting it. Go on.
This is a very digital government.
Yes.
And so running side by side with this physical program of academies in the grassroots is the Talanta Hela online.
Okay.
Right.
Talanta Hela digital platform, which is ready and will be rolling out tomorrow.
Right.
How this digital platform works is that you're in Wajir, you believe you can sing, you believe you can play football. Take a 2-minute clip of yourself in action,
Yeah.
either with the ball or with the mic. Go to the Talanta Hela app, which is going to be available across all platforms.
Yeah.
Post the clip.
Who's going to be on the other side to see these clips?
Yes, I'm coming. I know.
See, we have to ask these
Yeah, we have to.
I know. On the other side of the platform, we have established a talent screening center
Right.
at the Kenya Academy of Sports at Kasarani.
Okay.
The center is already established.
Yeah, it's-
and so that in real time, as you post your clip, there'll be scouts. We have a
Me, I
a
want
room-
that job.
We have a room. We have a room with about 20 screens. And these clips are flashing in from all corners, from Busia, to
Wow.
Kwale.
Different talents.
That's the job for
Yeah,
And as these talents come in,
Yeah.
you have these scouts in real time, 24 hours, who are picking these clips and continuously screening them. If they pick anything that is worth progressing, then you're invited to the academy.
Right,
You're invited
right.
to the academy for further testing, for further audition, and then you progress in similar manner as in the other process of the physical selection. So we have figured out how you provide a platform to pick these talents from all over the country and progress them.
Develop.
Ultimate destination, monetization,
of your talent.
commercialization, and marketing, so that your talent becomes money in your pocket.
Right.
Talanta Hela, pesa mfukoni. I didn't know that DJ one.
So DJ Namwamba, I gotta ask you a question now. You've outlined the Talanta Hela program. How are we gonna pay for all of this, man? This sounds expensive, Bana.
If you want it good, if you want it impactful, then you got to invest in it.
Right.
There are no two ways about it. I mean, and you know, cheap things are really not
Cheap.
I mean,
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
facts.
We are very aware of the financial implication of this mega program, because it's a mega program.
Yes.
It's a flagship program. We have already made the budgetary outlay, the projections. It is not cheap. Good thing is that the administration of President William Ruto is very clear on public-private partnership.
Right.
And so this is not a journey that government is going to walk alone. We have already established a very impressive partnership framework. When I was barely a month in office, I held a breakfast with some of the biggest corporates in town, the who is who's.
Right.
the Coca-Colas, the Safaricoms, the KCBs, the Equities, all these big corporates.
Big boys.
We actually started this journey together.
Right.
And we are moving together. The whole conceptualization, the planning, we have done it together with a lot of these partners.
That's good.
We have also plugged in the diplomatic community.
Right.
So I also did a breakfast with some of the key diplomats in town.
Right.
International friends who are very keen to be part of this process. So let me make it very clear that this is a partnership. Talanta
Right.
Hela is a partnership. Government, of course, is going to be the anchor.
Yeah.
And so a considerable percentage of the resources required are going to come from government, but a significant percentage will be through these partnerships,
Right.
the corporates and the international community. Yeah.
That leads me on nicely to the next question here, because one of the things that a lot of people are asking is about football. A lot of people are asking about, like, when is live football coming back to the television? How are the sponsorship funds for clubs and players going to be work under the Talanta Hela program?
Yeah.
Are you in a position to elaborate a bit more? Because we love football, like,
Absolutely. I mean, it's the globe's biggest sport.
Big culture.
You had your tournament in Busia like a few months ago.
Absolutely. We all love football. Even those of us who are not gifted, we love to kick the ball around.
Right.
Yeah, I have played football. I played football in school. I played football for Bunge FC for the 10 years I was in Parliament. And we just love to be there and be part of the spectacle.
Right.
And I must admit that what has happened to Kenyan football in the recent past is absolutely, it's unacceptable. It's miserable, really. When I came into office, I found pretty much a dead space.
Wow.
Okay.
I found football that had been in suspension by FIFA for a year.
Yeah.
And so there was nothing going on.
Right.
And I must admit, and Kenyans must know, that my first 6 months in office has been just about saving the ship first. Because I found a sinking ship. I found a dead space. And so I had to make haste to engage FIFA very, very quickly to find a way to have the suspension lifted. I flew all the way to Qatar during the World Cup to meet Mr. Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, and the president of CAF. We had a very candid conversation. We agreed on a framework. We agreed on a roadmap, which led to the suspension being lifted. I'm very proud that we did that within 1 month of my coming to office. And after that, after the lifting of the suspension, it was very important that we get football activities back going.
Right.
Because football is a whole economic ecosystem. During one football game, there's a guy who marks the pitch, just marking the pitch.
Yeah.
There's a guy who provides security. There's a guy who provides what you can call protocol
There's
services.
the guy who sells smokies.
There are fellows who do the ticketing, who sell their smokies and sell their popcorns. Okay. So it is a whole ecosystem. When you close that ecosystem, you devastate so many incomes.
Yeah.
That's beside the player who earns from playing,
Right.
and the coach who earns from coaching, and that
And
level.
the medical
But there is-
team.
yes, there's a whole ecosystem. So it was important that we just get football back,
Right.
and so we got the league back. The league is just concluding.
Right.
Has been a crash program league.
Yeah.
Because we started the league in the middle of the season.
Right.
But we wanted it to be back. I can tell Kenyans now that my first full season in office, programmed to start in August this year in a couple of months,
Yeah.
is going to be a proper league season. We have worked out a program on how the season is going to kick off, but most importantly, I'm very happy to inform the people of Kenya that, number one, we have already sorted the live broadcast issue, and
Okay.
Kenya is going to have an official live broadcaster
Right.
starting the new season.
That's dope.
Running alongside the live broadcast is a mega sponsorship package, because we must have an arrangement where every club participating in the Kenyan Premier League know that at a minimum there is a guaranteed income, there is a guaranteed revenue stream coming to you as a club.
Okay.
And so we have put together a sponsorship package that will guarantee every club a minimum guaranteed package, whether you'll finish last in the league
or you finish
first. That package is going to cascade to other levels of the league, because we know, and in the spirit of our bottom-up economic empowerment agenda, even if we support the Premier League very well, and we do not support the nationwide league and the regional leagues, it will be like Abu Nuwas's famous house, which is supposed to hang in the air.
No foundation.
Without foundation.
What about rugby? Because, rugby is... I'm very passionate about rugby.
Yes.
And, recently we were relegated from the sevens pool. Now, you mentioned football and there's the whole ecosystem. There's a massive ecosystem in rugby as well, like in terms of like not just the guys who play, but also the people who, like I say, arrange the games, the clubs. We've got a long tradition of rugby, and I'd be unfair to my rugby guys if I didn't ask you if there was a plan for Kenyan rugby as well.
Absolutely. Rugby is also a big sport in this country. Kenyans are incredibly talented at rugby-wise. Again, what has happened to rugby is a culmination of a long time of neglect, a long time of rot. The performance of our sevens team, for instance, in the recent past has been more miraculous than real.
Right.
Because they've been punching above their weight and they've been in survival.
I'm glad to hear you say that. That's true.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that is something that I'm very aware of. 2 days ago, I held a virtual meeting with the president of African Rugby, Mr. Mensah, and we have agreed on a roadmap for rugby too. I'm very happy that rugby now has new leadership. And
Sasha.
Sasha. And Sasha and his team, I have tasked them to put on my table a blueprint for the revival of the game of rugby.
Right.
And they have done that. They have put a blueprint on my table. We have agreed on the roadmap. We have agreed on budgets. It is going to go all the way to the grassroots in similar manner that we are doing with football.
Right.
So you're going to see a whole ecosystem roping in schools and colleges and community clubs all the way to the national level to feed our national teams for rugby as we do it for football.
Okay.
Yes.
So Talanta Hela launching tomorrow officially?
Tomorrow, His Excellency the President unveils Talanta Hela, and for us, this is a big statement because the President is very passionate about sports, about the creative industries. The President is very clear that as we make effort to create employment, expand opportunities for our young people, the one area that remains unexploited is sports and the creative industries. And we know that through sports, through music, through film, through theater, through fashion, through the literary and the fine arts, we can expand livelihoods and create opportunities for millions of young people. And that's why he's personally igniting the Talanta Hela initiative tomorrow at Still House.
I knew there was a question that we didn't ask. Which football team do you support? English Premier League. I just remembered, like, you walked in. We haven't even asked you which English Premier League. This is a football studio. We need to know.
But you guys, that's where we go wrong. Ask me which team I support in the Kenyan Premier League first.
We'll come back. We'll come back to that.
We'll finish it.
We'll come in there because we it's probably going to be AFC. But
from here, I'm going to the Harambee Stars camp. We put Harambee Stars in camp because we have a tournament.
Right.
We are taking Harambee Stars to Mauritius.
Good.
For a 4-nation tournament. It's part of preparations for qualifiers for the next AFCON.
Right.
And also we want to build a team for the 2026 World Cup well in advance. And so my first love is the national team.
Right. Beautiful.
Now,
great politician. Give him a round.
I love it. I love it.
That was a good answer.
The English Premier League, I mean, I've always been a Ghana.
Hey!
I die, I rise.
Oh my God.
That's right. You see, your friends don't come in here.
You can know a Ghana when you see one.
Yes.
I could guess. I
Yes,
could already guess.
because he's in a position of authority like me. Listen, Ghanas,
Ghanas are
we're out
refined,
there.
Ghanas are real, Ghanas are authentic, Ghanas are original. They
man.
do it from the basics.
And loyal.
And loyal. Yeah.
Definitely,
Loyalty.
Well, all we can do is wish you all the best with the launch tomorrow and also the initiative. We'll be there to check it every single step of the way. We'll call you back in a year's time if it's not working and ask you why. Because you said we're hard to, we have to hold people accountable.
Absolutely. And we look forward to that. And I want to tell Kenyans, please watch this program. Please monitor this program.
Yes.
Oversight this program.
Yeah.
Please critique this program. Please let your ideas flow into this program. We are open-minded. A good idea must give way to a better idea. A better idea must give way to a best idea.
Yeah.
And we are open to receive all sorts of thinking ideas from the people of Kenya. Keep it rolling.
Safari Rally, boom. You got to talk about that before you go.
Yeah.
The toughest, the hottest, the swankiest rally in the whole world.
Yes.
Of the 13 series of the WRC, Safari Rally is the thing.
Definitely.
Safari
The thing.
The thing. Yeah, man. Safari Rally is the thing. And last year, and we are very keen to replicate that this year. The Safari Rally was the most watched of the 13 rounds of the World Rally Championship Series.
Wow.
And so the Safari Rally is big. We are good to go. We have all the drivers who are already been registered and cleared. 34 drivers have already been cleared in the premier event. We are targeting 50 drivers in the local event, because while the WRC is running, we'll also be running the national championship.
Right.
Where we are enrolling up to 50 drivers.
Yeah.
And so we are telling the world, Karibu Kenya, the land
Right.
of Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna
Right.
Matata, Hakuna Matata.
Yes, this is that land. And for Kenyans, come to Vasha to Chape Sherehe. And you see, it's not just about driving, it's
Yes,
about having fun.
as well.
It's about experiencing the best of Kenya.
And that's important.
We have also put together what you're calling the Hustler Bazaar.
Right.
A special space where you can trade. You can trade in your ushanga, you can trade in food stuff, you can trade in whatever it is that you want to put on the market, and you can just have fun with Kenyan artists and some mixed with some big name artists, because we want Kenyans to just take a break, have fun, and have an incredible Kenyan experience. So twende Vasha.
Twende Vasha.
Twende Vasha.
I've just followed you on Instagram because I know you're buying drinks when we get to Vasha.
No, it's all on me. It's all on me, guys.
Twende Sherehe.
Prince of Busia.
Yes, I will be there no matter what.
It's all on me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making time for us today.
Asante.
We appreciate it. We've had the CS of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts in the studio, the DJ Ababu Namwamba in the building. Giving them you can't be on the Homeboys and not be a DJ. We're giving you the honorary DJ title. And go out there and fix it for the youth there, man. This generation, they need it.
Yes.
They need it. Some of us guys who are older, we've passed through it, but the youngers, they need it. So you have a very important ministry.
We're going to give it to them. Allow me to just add one little thing, that in terms of the partnerships, we have secured deals with some really big names in the entertainment industry. We have an MOU with Tress for marketing and progressing
Artists.
talents.
Okay.
We are signing an MOU with the Grammys, the American Grammys.
I heard about that last week.
Yes.
Didn't know it was true though.
Yes, it is true. We're doing that. And in fact, the Grammys Center for Africa is going to be located right here in Nairobi as part of that MOU. We are putting together a deal with two major Hollywood filmmakers to really make Kenya a major film-making destination, a film hub, really, as it were. And so there are good things we are putting together. We want it to work, and we want it to work for the Kenyan youth.
See, I heard about that Grammys thing last week, but I was told not to speak on it. But now I can speak on it. Sour.
Yes,
All right, we're looking forward to that, man. And definitely, like I said, we're a youth-facing station, so it's important that we maintain this relationship because, like I said, man, the youth them out there need to me, you have the most important ministry. 100%.
Absolutely, we have no doubt. Young people, sport, after all.
Yes.
Kenya's biggest export to the world is not tea, it's not coffee, it's not flowers, it's not tourism. Kenya's biggest export to the world is our sportsmen and women. When Faith Kipyegon does her thing, her thing, I mean, everybody in Kenya goes gaga. And we forget Azmio, we forget Kenya Kwanza, we forget this tribe, we forget that we are just Kenya. And so sports is incredible, and our young people are the energy, they are the fuel that powers the Kenyan ship.
All right. All right, make some noise for Honorable CS.
Big up, man. Big up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And the door is always open, all right?